Yap, Christopherson.
Mamaya pre-sitting.
Majong Otto, Mr. Presiding Officer. In behalf of the 2nd District of Southern Leyte, it is my honor and privilege to cast my vote for Congressman Ferdinand Martin Romualdez.
Yap, Edvic.
Mr. Presiding Officer, this representation from AXIS Party List votes for Congressman Ferdinand Martin Romualdez.
Yap, Eric.
Magandang hapon po kay VP Inday Sara Duterte. Bilang kinatawan ng probinsya ng Benguet, syempre po hindi pababayaan ni Speaker Martin Romualdez ang Benguet. We vote for Martin Romualdez bilang Speaker. Congratulations po.
You, Divina Grace.
Mayong hapon sa tanan, Mr. Presiding Officer. Before I vote, let me acknowledge first the presence of our beautiful Vice President, Honorable Inday Sara Duterte. Mr. Presiding Officer, on behalf of the 1st District of Zamboanga del Sur, I vote for Representative Ferdinand Martin Romualdez as Speaker of the House of Representatives of the 19th Congress. Thank you very much.
You, Jazel Victoria.
Maayong hapon sa tanan. Mr. Presiding Officer, on behalf of Zamboanga del Sur's 2nd District, I vote Representative Ferdinand Martin Romualdez as Speaker for the House of Representatives for the 19th Congress. Daghang salamat.
Yulo.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. In behalf of the people of the 5th District of the province of Negros Occidental, I vote for the Honorable Martin Romualdez as Speaker of the 19th Congress. Thank you.
Thank you.
Zamora Amparo Maria.
Mr. Presiding Officer, sa ngalan po ng ikalawang distrito ng lungsod ng Taguig, ang boto po namin ay para kay Speaker Martin Romualdez. Maraming salamat po.
Zamora Maria Carmen.
Mr. Presiding Officer, on behalf of the 1st District of Davao de Oro, I vote for Congressman Ferdinand Martin Romualdez as the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Zamora Isabel Maria.
Mr. Presiding Officer, San Juan City votes for Speaker Martin Romualdez. Thank you very much.
Zubiri.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is my first day as a member. Today is my first day as a member of the House. I arrived today and immediately I am here.
Yes, sir.
But I'm so happy that on my first day I already participated. And this participation makes me very, very happy. Allow me to read this. In behalf of the province of Bukidnon, especially the 3rd District, I cast my vote for Representative Martin Romualdez as Speaker for the 19th Congress because he has done a lot for us in the province of Bukidnon. Thank you, Martin. Thank you very much.
Second call for the election of the position of the Honorable Speaker of the House of Representatives. Ang.
Ganda ba?
Picture mo. Picture tayo. Speaker. Dito kasi.
Mr. Presiding Officer.
Please proceed, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll see you guys.
Mr. Presiding Officer,
Please proceed, Honorable Ang.
Mr. Presiding Officer, to our Vice President Sara,
Honorable Sir, Honorable Ang is still on the line.
Thank you.
Not Sara, this representation from Manila Teachers Party List votes yes for the speakership of Ferdinand Martin Gomez Romualdez. Congratulations, sir.
Honorable Jojo Ang is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. As representative of Uswag Ilonggo Party List, I vote for my good friend, a loyal friend, Representative Ferdinand Martin Romualdez as House Speaker for this 19th Congress. Salamat kag mainuswagon nga adlaw sa aton tanan. Congratulations, Mr. Speaker Martin.
Udela.
Please proceed, Your Honor.
Maayong udto kanatong tanan, on behalf of 2nd District, will give all full support and solid yes vote to the speakership of Honorable Ferdinand Martin Romualdez.
Lee.
Nasa Zoom ba siya? Wala, ano yan?
Lee. Romualdez Ferdinand Martin.
Romualdez.
Tan Samir.
Romualdez ulit. Bumoto siya. Sir Romualdez. Bumoto ba? Bumoto na.
Tan Stephen. Tulfo Jocelyn.
Punta kayo.
Tupas.
On behalf of the people of the 5th District of Iloilo, it is my honor to vote for Honorable Ferdinand Martin Romualdez as Speaker of 19th Congress. Salamat po.
Abalos.
Hindi yan bumoto po.
Bordado. Bosita. Colada. Dagook. Daza. De Jesus. Enciso. Espares. Gutierrez. Ataman, Herrera, Libanan, Noel, Ong Chuan, Paduano, Soriano, Tan Reynolds, Vergara.
Your Honors, with 4 members abstaining from the vote, 22 members who did not vote, and 1 negative vote, the results of the voting show that Representative from the 1st District of Leyte, the Honorable Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, garnered 283 votes. With 283 votes, the Chair declares a gentleman from the 1st District of Leyte, the Honorable Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, as a duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives.
Mr. Presiding Officer, I move that a committee of 5 members composed of Representative Isidro T. Ungab, Representative Roberto V. Puno, Representative Camille A. Villar, Representative Christine Singson Mihan, and Representative Raymond Democrito C. Mendoza be constituted to notify the Honorable Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez of his election as Speaker of the House of Representatives, and thereafter to escort the Speaker-elect to the rostrum for the oath-taking rites.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. The notification committee is hereby constituted. The members of the House so named are hereby appointed to the notification committee, and they are requested to inform the Speaker-elect, the Honorable Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez, of his election and to escort him to the rostrum. The Chair invites the family of the Speaker-elect, Honorable Ferdinand Alexander A. Marcos, and the Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines, Her Excellency Sara Zimmerman Duterte, to join him at the rostrum as he takes his oath of office. Session is suspended. Session is resumed.
Honorable members of the House of Representatives, the duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives, the gentleman from the 1st District of Leyte, the Honorable Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez.
The Honorable Jaime D. Cuanco of the 1st District of Tarlac will administer the oath of office to the Speaker-elect. The Honorable Jaime D. Cuanco is requested to come to the rostrum and administer the oath of office to the Speaker. May I request all the members of the House to rise. Natawag ko. Honorable Sir. Ang tawag si... Basta tawag?
Tawag daw siya. The Honorable Henry Cuanco is requested.
Ang tawag na ba?
Yan yung po.
Basta tawag ko.
Tawag daw. Natawag daw. Advance na oath. Tapos bawa pang the Honorable Henry Cuanco.
Nasabi na ba? Nasabi na ba?
Nasabi na ba si ano? Ayan. Hindi ito. Ngayon hindi ko pa nasasabi.
Nasabi ko na.
Ano si Henry Cuanco?
Nasabi ko na ba? Congratulations.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
Martin Gomez Romualdez,
of Leyte,
of the 1st District of Leyte,
having been elected Speaker of the House of Representatives,
having been elected Speaker of the House of Representatives,
hereby solemnly swear
that
I will well and faithfully discharge to the best of my ability
the
duties of my present position, and of all others I may hereafter hold under the Republic of the Philippines, that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the laws and legal orders and decrees promulgated by the duly constituted authorities of the Republic of the Philippines, and that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations.
Wait, boss, yung mic. Yan. Wow. Immediate. Sir, ini si Eda speaker. Speaker Eda sa gitna. May I request our colleagues in the House to kindly sit down.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is the afternoon already, so I shall not tarry. The ladies and gentlemen, the members of the House of Representatives of the 19th Congress, I'd like very much to extend my thanks, first of all, to the President of the Republic of the Philippines, Ferdinand Bongbong Romualdez Marcos Jr., for having espoused the message of unity and for supporting the House of Representatives, its leadership, and the legislative agenda that we shall forge ahead. I'm deeply grateful for the presence of the Vice President, and Secretary of Education, Inday Sara Duterte. Daghang salamat. I, of course, would like to extend my thanks to my family, my mother who is here, thank you so much, and the rest of my family, my brother, my sister-in-law, my children. Thank you for the support and the sacrifices, and of course, mostly to my wife, Congresswoman Yeda. You're my inspiration. But most of all, of course, to all our friends here who've made it very, very possible for me to be up here. I'd like to, of course, thank my immediate past predecessor, Speaker Lord Alan J. Velasco. Beyond the legislative agenda that we had accomplished together, he's too responsible for the refurbishment and the most beautiful session hall that we have today. So thank you, Speaker, and of course to our Secretary General and the staff who've gotten this all together. I'd like to also thank one and all for your unequivocal support for our leadership for the 19th Congress. Rather than I accept the position, I ask you all to accept the duty of service to the people. For you and I can do this all together as a team, as we had in the previous Congress, and in unity, as they say, there is strength. I'm deeply elated beyond words for the trust and confidence you reposed upon me. You, my distinguished members of the Chamber, your unqualified support has overwhelmed me, and it is with high hopes that together we shall hurdle the challenges that we face at this stage of the COVID-19 pandemic. We are entering the endemic stages, and we are confident that with the unity that our President has espoused, we can actually overcome the crippling effects of this pandemic and, of course, the political differences that occurred in the recent elections, as well as the global impacts such as the Ukrainian war. The tasks ahead of us may seemingly be daunting, but our synergy is the seed that will nurture us for the ensuing years. We will work together to ensure that the House of Representatives truly embodies the will of the people. We will work hand in hand to ensure the swift passage of House measures that are needed by the people and would support development across all sectors of society at different levels of government. And with unity of purpose, there is nothing that we cannot do. As your Speaker, I vow to attend to all the concerns of your constituents. I shall try to be as fair as possible and to favor no one. There will be a fair and equitable distribution of resources for the development of our regions, regardless of political affiliations. Every Filipino family must be included in any developmental agenda. No one gets left behind. I will keep my office always open, available to all, always open to you, the members of the House, for we are the House of the people, the majority and the minority. Priority will be given to those willing to share their aspirations with all their constituents with me. And thank you, my dear colleagues, for the honor, for choosing me to serve as your Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 19th Congress. I gladly accept your trust and confidence with a promise that we will collectively work to make the 19th Congress the best it can possibly be. Mabuhay pa kayong lahat. Mabuhay ang Pilipino.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the adoption of the 18th Congress Rules of the House of Representatives as amended as the provisional rules of the House to govern its proceedings until the adoption of the rules of the House of Representatives for the 19th Congress.
Is it an objection? The chair hears none. The rules of the 18th Congress as amended is hereby adopted as provisional rules for the House of Representatives for the 19th Congress.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we now proceed with the oath of the members of the House of Representatives.
All members, please rise. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Having been elected to the position of representative, hereby solemnly swear that I will faithfully discharge to the best of my abilities the duties of my present position and all others that I may hold hereafter under the Republic of the Philippines. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will be the laws, legal orders, and decrees promulgated by the duly constituted authorities of the Republic of the Philippines. And that I impose this obligation upon myself voluntarily, without mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations. Welcome to the 19th Congress.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we now proceed to the election of the Deputy Speakers of the House of Representatives.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The election of Deputy Speakers of the House of Representatives is now in order. Acting Floor Leader, please proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we elect Representative Gloria Macapagal Arroyo as the Senior Deputy Speaker and the following members as Deputy Speakers of the House of Representatives. Representative Isidro T. Ungab, Representative Roberto V. Puno, Representative Camille A. Villar, Representative Christine Singson Mian, and Representative Raymond Democrito C. Mendoza.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Representative Gloria Macapagal Arroyo is unanimously elected as the Senior Deputy Speaker, and the Honorable Representatives Isidro T. Ungab, Roberto V. Puno, Camille A. Villar, Christine Singson Mihan, and Raymond Democrito C. Mendoza are unanimously elected as Deputy Speakers of the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we now proceed to the election of the Secretary General.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The election of the Secretary General is now in order.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we elect Mr. Reginald S. Velasco as Secretary General of the House of Representatives.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Mr. Reginald S. Velasco is unanimously elected as Secretary General of the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we now proceed to the election of the Sergeant at Arms.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The election of the Sergeant of Arms is now in order.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we elect Police Major General Napoleon Caballes Taas, retired, as Sergeant at Arms of the House of Representatives.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Police Major General Napoleon Caballes Taas, retired, is unanimously elected as the Sergeant at Arms of the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, I now move that we recognize the representative from the 2nd District of Cavite, the Honorable Lani Mercado Revilla.
Mr. Speaker, my colleagues in this august chamber, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I stand before you today to nominate the Honorable Manuel Jose Manix M. Dalipe as Majority Floor Leader of the House of Representatives. The role of the Majority Leader is crucial in the proper and efficient legislative operation. The Majority Leader serves as the Speaker's Chief Lieutenant or Field Commander. He is in charge of directing the deliberations on the floor and melding the diverse philosophies, viewpoints, and agenda of all the members of the House. And while scheduling the House's business is a collective activity, the Majority Leader has a large part in shaping the House's overall agenda and in strategically determining when or in what order should a legislative measure be introduced and deliberated on towards its enactment into law. The person I am nominating today as our new Majority Leader possesses a great ability, skill, knowledge, legislative prowess, and mastery of the legislative mill. As we face the challenges of the 19th Congress, there is no better person who can lead us as our Majority Leader than Honorable Manix Dalipe, a man with proven leadership and integrity, a man who believes in change through cooperation and mutual understanding, a man driven in the advancement of public interest to promote growth and prosperity in the country. It is with immense pride, great honor, and deep confidence that I nominate Honorable Manuel Jose Manix M. Dalipe, the representative of the 2nd District of Zamboanga City, as our Majority Leader. Yes, Mr. Speaker.
There is a motion on the part of the majority to elect the Honorable Manuel Jose Manix M. Dalipe as the Majority Leader of the House of Representatives. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The Honorable Manuel Jose Manix M. Dalipe is elected Majority Leader of the House of Representatives.
Mr. Speaker, I move for consideration of House Resolution number 74.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Consideration of House Resolution number 74 is now in order. The Secretary General will now read the title of the resolution.
House Resolution number 74. Resolution informing the Senate that the House of Representatives has been organized and has entered upon the exercise of its functions.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the adoption of House Resolution number 74.
There is a motion to adopt House Resolution number 74. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. House Resolution number 74 is adopted. House Resolution number 75 informing His Excellency Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines, that the House of Representatives...
Mr. Speaker,
Yes?
Mr. Speaker, I move for consideration of House Resolution number 75.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Consideration of House Resolution number 75 is now in order.
House Resolution number 75. Resolution informing His Excellency Ferdinand Romualdez Marcos Jr., President of the Republic of the Philippines, that the House of Representatives has been organized and has entered upon the exercise of its functions.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move for adoption of House Resolution number 75.
There is a motion to adopt House Resolution number 75. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. House Resolution number 75 is adopted.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the consideration of House Concurrent Resolution number 1.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Consideration of House Concurrent Resolution is now in order. The Secretary General is instructed to read the title of the resolution.
House Concurrent Resolution number 1. Concurrent Resolution providing for the Senate and the House of Representatives to hold a joint session to hear the message of the President of the Republic of the Philippines.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the adoption of House Concurrent Resolution number 1.
There is a motion to adopt House Concurrent Resolution number 1. Is there any objection? The chair hears none. House Concurrent Resolution number 1 is adopted. The session is suspended while the House transmits the messages to the Senate.
Then,
Consideration of messages from the Senate.
Is there any objection? Hearing none, consideration of messages from the Senate is now in order. Secretary General is instructed to read the messages from the Senate.
from the Senate. Message dated July 25, 2022, informing the House that the Senate, on even date, adopted Senate Resolution Number 2, entitled Resolution Informing the House of Representatives that the Senate has been organized with the election of its officers and that this body has entered upon the exercise of its functions for the first regular session of the 19th Congress of the Philippines.
To the archives.
Message dated July 25, 2022, informing the House that the Senate on even date adopted Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 1 entitled Concurrent Resolution Creating a Joint Committee of the Senate and the House of Representatives to notify the President of the Philippines that Congress now convened for its first regular session of the 19th Congress of the Philippines is ready to hear his State of the Nation address in a joint session of both houses.
To the calendar of business for the day.
Mr. Speaker, I move for consideration of Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 1.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Consideration of concurrent resolution number 1 is now in order. The Secretary General is requested to read the title of the resolution.
Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 1 entitled Concurrent Resolution Creating a Joint Committee of the Senate and the House of Representatives to notify the President of the Philippines that Congress now convene for its first regular session of the 19th Congress of the Philippines is ready to hear his State of the Nation address in a joint session of both houses.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the adoption of Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 1.
There is a motion to adopt Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 1. Is there any objections? The chair hears none. Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 1 is adopted. The floor leaders recognized.
Mr. Speaker, in view of the adoption of Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 1, authorizing the creation of a joint committee of both houses to notify the President of the Philippines that the Congress is convened and ready to hear his message. On the part of the House, I move that the following be appointed to the joint committee. Deputy Speaker Isidro T. Ungab, Deputy Speaker Roberto V. Puno, Deputy Speaker Camille A. Villar, Deputy Speaker Christine Singson Mihan, Deputy Speaker Raymond Democrito C. Mendoza.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The members of the House of Representatives so named are hereby appointed to the Joint Committee and are requested to immediately discharge their responsibility.
Mr. Speaker, in order to give the members of the Joint Committee time to perform their assigned task and until the House counterpart is ready to report back their accomplishment to this House, I move for the suspension of the session.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The session is suspended. Majority Leader, session is resumed. Floor leaders recognized.
Mr. Speaker, may I request our dear colleagues to kindly take their seat? Mr. Speaker, we have received a report from the Joint Committee that the President has been informed that Congress will convene in a joint session at 4 o'clock this afternoon to hear his State of the Nation address. Mr. Speaker, we wish to remind the members of this chamber that all of us must be here an hour before the joint session at 4 o'clock.
The remarks of the acting floor leader are hereby duly noted.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Secretary General for an announcement.
The Secretary General is recognized.
Members who did not vote for Speaker Ferdinand Martin G. Romualdez are hereby requested to attend and participate in the meeting for the purpose of electing the minority leader to be held at 2:15 today, July 25, 2022, at the Minority Leader Conference Room, North Wing Basement. Thank you.
The announcement of the Secretary General is duly noted. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, to give way to the joint session at 4 o'clock this afternoon, I move that we adjourn the session until tomorrow, Tuesday, July 26, 2022, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The session is adjourned until tomorrow, Tuesday, July 26, 2022, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Congratulations,
We request
Mr.
the
Speaker.
deputy speakers to escort our speaker to his office. And we have to vacate this room, this plenary hall, immediately. Huh?